Welcome to the Good Fight Sports Podcast, your home for local sports here in the 574. Hello and welcome to the Good Fight Sports Podcast. My name is Kenny Cramer, and this is episode 34. And in this one, we're doing the Week 9 preview. This is the last regular season game of the high school football season here in the state of Indiana. Next week, we start sectional play. 1A through 4A will be playing in Week 1. 5A and 6A have byes. And then from there, we'll keep playing 1A through 6A. So first up, we have the Spotlight Game of the Week for the last time in the regular season. It is number 6 in 4A Northridge, 7-1, at number 12 in 6A Warsaw, 7-1. So Northridge travels down to Warsaw to take on the Tigers in the final game of the regular season, and in a game that will decide who will finish with a share of the NLC championship with Mishawaka. So the Raiders enter on a 5-game winning streak. Warsaw has won their last 2. This is the 37th meeting in this series, with the Tigers holding a 27-9 advantage. This one will be one of the better games in the area and should come down to the wire. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m. down in Warsaw, so if you don't have a team to cheer for, go to this game. This game will be worth every dollar you spend. My prediction is Northridge is going to win 31-27. Warsaw is a 3-point favorite last I saw. So this game is kind of could be either or. But I think Northridge is just going to – I think they're going to come in and they're going to walk out with a win. I'm not going to say they're going to roll, but they're going to walk out with a win down there in Warsaw. Next up, we have Culver 0-8 at number 4 in 2A, LaVille 7-1. The Lancers wrap up the regular season with their annual matchup against Culver at Lancer Field. This is the 52nd meeting between these two rivals, and LaVille holds a 47-12 advantage in the series. The Lancers are also coming off 2 consecutive thrilling come-from-behind wins and now face one of the easiest teams on their schedule. So the question is, will the Lancers take care of business at home on senior night, or will Culver pose as a threat and become more of a trap game for LaVille since the game is, quote, too easy? And my prediction, I have LaVille winning easily at 52-0. Wawa C 1-7 at number 8 in 5A Mishawaka 6-2. The Cavemen look to finish the regular season off in style and capture a share of the NLC title with either Warsaw or Northridge. This is only the 4th meeting between these two schools, and the Cavemen have won all 3 previous matchups. Mishawaka has played a tough schedule thus far as well, and they are ready for sectional play. But overlooking this Wawa C team would be a mistake. So can Mishawaka capture a share of the NLC crown, or will Wawa C upset the Cavemen for only their 2nd win of the season? And then finally, we have South Bend Adams 1-7 at number 8 in 6A Penn 7-1. Kingsmen are just 1 win away from capturing their 42nd NIC title. Penn last week took care of business against New Prairie, and they got at least a share of the NIC Big Division title. And then now this coming Friday night at Everwise Freed Field, the Kingsmen look to take down the Eagles and capture the outright division title. This is the 52nd meeting between these two schools, and Penn holds a commanding 49-2 advantage in the series, and I have Penn winning 55-0. Then some other local games. Angola 1-7 at Eastside 6-2. This is the 46th meeting between these two schools, and Angola leads the series 27-18. Belmont 0-8 at number 7 and 4A East Noble 6-2. This is the 49th meeting between these two schools. East Noble leads the series 29-19, and East Noble has also won the last 8 matchups as well. Number 8 Bluffton 6-2 at Lakeland 6-2. This is only the 6th meeting between these two schools, and Bluffton leads the series 4-1. Bremen 4-4 at number 7 and 3A Tippecanoe Valley 8-0. This is the 13th meeting between these two schools. Could be future conference rivals too. And Bremen leads the series 8-4. And these are future. So before I say this, we do have a bit of a conference name change. Next year, Bremen, Tippy Valley, Glen, LaVille, Knox, and Jimtown will not be in the Northern State Conference. Instead, they will be in the Indiana Northern State Conference. So instead of the NSC, it is the INSC, but will probably be known as the Northern State Conference around here, to those who remember it. So these two teams will be future Indiana Northern State Conference teams, probably future conference rivals too. I would beg to differ if they're not. I need to add that in there. Cherubusco 2-6 at Fairfield 4-4. This is the 39th meeting between these two schools, and Busco leads the series 22-14. Number 2 and 3A Guerin Catholic 6-2 at Culver Academy 3-5. This is the 5th meeting between these two schools, and Guerin leads the series 4-0. Hammond Central 5-3 at number 4 and 3A Hanover Central 8-0. Hammond Knoll 2-6 at Boone Grove 6-2. This is the 11th meeting between these two schools, and Boone Grove leads the series 9-1. Jimtown 4-4 at number 15 and 4A South Bend Riley 7-1. This is the 9th meeting between these two schools, and Jimtown leads the series 6-2. Riley needs to win this game in order to make sure that they capture the NIC South Division Championship outright. They have at least a share. This is their first conference title since, I believe, 1965. So congratulations to South Bend Riley. They have at least a share of the NIC South Division title. So let's see if they can capture the outright division title this coming Friday at Jackson Field. John Glenn 4-4 at South Bend Washington 2-6. This is the 11th meeting between these two schools, and Washington leads the series 6-4. Number 13 and 3A Knox 8-0 at Caston 1-7. This is the 10th meeting between these two schools, and Knox leads the series 9-0. And with a win, well, when Knox wins, unfortunately they will win the outright Hoosier North Athletic Conference title. I do say unfortunately because I'm not a Knox fan. Maconaquah 6-2 at number 13 and 2A Rochester 6-2. This is only the 8th meeting between these two schools, and Maconaquah leads the series 4-3. Michigan City 5-3 at number 4 and 6A Crown Point 8-0. This is the 29th meeting between these two rivals, and Crown Point leads the series 16-12. Mishawaka Marion 4-4 at South Bend St. Joe 4-4. This is the 63rd meeting and the 63rd edition of the Holy War. one of the other best rivalries in Michiana. St. Joe leads the series 36-26, and this rivalry started back in 1967. Number 11 in 4A, New Prairie 6-2 at Elkhart 3-5. This is only the fourth meeting, and this is since the Elkhart merge in 2020. And Elkhart leads the series 2-1. North Judson 4-4 at Pioneer 5-3. This is the 19th meeting between these two schools, and Pioneer holds a commanding 16-2 advantage in the series. Number 7 in 1A North White 8-0 at number 12 in 1A West Central 7-1. This is the 55th meeting between these two rivals, and West Central leads the series 28-26. Number 18 in 4A Northwood 6-2 at Goshen 1-7. This is the 51st meeting between these two schools, and Northwood leads the series 29-21. Norwell 2-6 at Columbia City 5-3. This is the 37th meeting between these two schools, and Norwell leads the series 21-15. Plymouth 2-6 at Concord 4-4. This is the 60th meeting between these two rivals, and Plymouth leads the series 32-25-2. Portage 0-8 at LaPorte 1-7. This is the 52nd meeting between these two schools, and Portage leads the series 34-17. And number 11 in 1A Triton at Winnemac. Triton 5-3 at Winnemac 3-5. This is the 16th meeting between these two schools, and Winnemac holds a 8-7 advantage in the series. Then some other games around the state. Boonville 5-3 at number 3 in 3A Gibson Southern 6-2. This is the 31st meeting between these two schools, and Boonville leads the series 17-14. Number 10 in 6A Carmel 5-3 at Lawrence Central 3-5. This is the 43rd meeting between these two rivals, and Carmel leads the series 26-15-1. Number 3 in 1A Carroll of Flora 8-0 at number 9 in 1A Sheridan 6-2. This is the 16th meeting between these two schools, and Sheridan leads the series 11-4. Center Grove, the biggest game, one of the biggest games in the Indianapolis area. Number 1 in 6A Center Grove 7-1 at number 6 in 6A Indianapolis Cathedral 6-2. This is the 13th meeting between these two schools, and Center Grove leads the series 7-5. Number 23 in Ohio and number 11 in Division I, also in Ohio, Cincinnati Elder from Ohio, 5-3 at number 1 in 3A Indianapolis Bishop Chatard 8-0. This is the 11th meeting between these two schools, and Elder leads the series 8-2. Number 8 in 3A Hamilton Heights 8-0 at number 10 in 3A West Lafayette 6-2. This is the 12th meeting between these two schools, and West Lafayette leads the series 9-2. Number 4 Hamilton Southeastern 7-1 at number 3 in 6A Brownsburg 8-0. This is the 25th meeting between these two rivals, and Southeastern leads the series 14-10. And finally, number 13 in 1A Madison Grant 6-2 at number 6 in 2A Alexandria 7-1. This is the 50th meeting between these two schools, and Madison Grant leads the series 31-18. So now we have number 10 Southern Cal versus number 21 Notre Dame. We're now switching over to college football. Notre Dame enters as a surprising 2.5-point favorite over their arch rivals from Southern Cal or spoiled children. This is the 91st meeting between these two teams, with the Irish holding a 48-37-5 advantage in the series. This series started back in 1926 and has been one of, and I would say the best intersectional rivalries in college football. So, can Notre Dame upset the Trojans and hinder their college football playoff hopes? Or will USC and Caleb Williams walk out of Notre Dame Stadium with the Jeweled Shillelagh Trophy for the second straight year? My prediction, Notre Dame 38 and Spoiled Children 31. I'm never going to pick Southern Cal to beat Notre Dame ever. And then some other top 25 games. Number one Georgia 6-0 is at Vanderbilt 2-5. This is the 83rd meeting between these two schools, and Georgia leads the series 60-20-2. Indiana 2-3 at number 2 Michigan 6-0. This is the 72nd meeting between these two schools, and Michigan leads the series 61-10. Ohio State, number 3 at 5-0, at Purdue 2-4. It's the 58th meeting between these two schools, and Ohio State leads the series 40-15-2. Syracuse 4-2 at number 4 Florida State 5-0. This is the 16th meeting between these two schools, and Florida State leads the series 13-2. UMass 1-6 at Penn State 5-0. Number 6 Penn State. This is the second meeting between these two schools, and Penn State leads the series 1-0. Play a tougher team, Penn State. Number 8 Oregon 5-0 at number 7 Washington 5-0. This is the 114th meeting between these two rivals. Washington leads the series 61-48-5. Arkansas 2-4 at number 11 Alabama 5-1. This is the 31st meeting between these two schools, and Bama leads the series 23-8. Number 25 Miami, Florida 4-1 at number 12 North Carolina 5-0. This is the 25th meeting between these two rivals, and UNC leads the series 13-11. Number 14 Louisville 6-0 at Pitt 1-4. This is the 20th meeting between these two rivals, and Pitt leads the series 10-9. Number 18 UCLA 4-1 at number 15 Oregon State 5-1. This is the 64th meeting between these two schools, and UCLA leads the series 42-17-4. Cal 3-3 at number 16 Utah 4-1. This is the 13th meeting between these two schools, and the series is tied 6-6. North Carolina State 4-2 at number 17 Duke 4-1. This is the 84th meeting between these two rivals, and Duke leads the series 41-37-5. Arizona 3-3 at number 19 Washington State 4-1. This is the 47th meeting between these two schools, and Arizona leads the series 27-19. Texas A&M 4-2 at number 20 Tennessee 4-1. Tennessee and Washington State are tied at 19. I don't like ties and rankings, so I have Tennessee at 20 because that's obvious. This is the 5th ever meeting between these two schools, and the series is tied 2-2. Auburn 3-2 at number 22 LSU 4-2. This is the 58th meeting between these two rivals, and LSU leads the series 32-24-1. Number 23 Kansas 5-1 at Oklahoma State 3-2. This is the 75th meeting between these two schools, and Oklahoma State leads the series 41-30-3. And then finally, Missouri 5-1 at number 24, Kentucky 5-1. This is the 14th meeting between these two schools, and Kentucky leads the series 9-4. So that's going to do it for the Week 9 preview show. Tune in Sunday for our Week 9 recap show, where we go over all the scores from high school football as well as college football. And until then, so long, everybody.
Hey guys, it's Kenny, host of The Good Fight. We hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to hear more, you can check out our website at thelugnutspodcastgroup.com for all information related to the podcast and where to listen to us. You can also follow the Patreon page for exclusive benefits for the show. Join us next time for The Good Fight.